Due to the upcoming Halloween season, the Strange History podcast will be celebrating with a multi-part series on the history of witches. No, we do not mean your mother-in-law or the cranky lunch lady from grammar school who always skimped on the French fries and whose hairnet looked questionable at best. We mean witches. A person thought to have magic powers, especially evil ones, popularly depicted as a woman wearing a black cloak and pointed hat and flying on a broomstick. Buckle up so you do not fall off your broomstick and get a cup of hot cider and your furriest familiar and enjoy the next few episodes.
Welcome, dear listeners, to the Strange History podcast. I'm Amy, your guide through history's dustiest corners and strangest broom closets. Today we're launching an epic journey, a mega episode tracing witches through every twist of the human story. Not just the warty cartoon variety, but healers, rebels, midwives, and mischief makers who shaped and sometimes terrified their societies. So grab a mug of something warming or something bubbling if you're feeling theatrical, because we're heading back nearly 5,000 years to where the first whispers of witchcraft scratched themselves into clay.
Mesopotamia, sorcery on clay tablets, circa 2000 to 600 BCE.
The world's earliest surviving witch trials weren't held in a gloomy courthouse, but in the mind of a worried Sumerian farmer. Somewhere along the Euphrates, goats were getting sick, grain was failing, and neighbors began muttering about kishpu, spells meant to blight crops or strike enemies. Cuneiform tablets record a whole lexicon of magical worry. The ashipu, think of them as priest detectives, specialized in sniffing out curses. If you suspected someone hexed your beer supply, you called an ashipu, who would chant over clay figurines representing the culprit, then burn them in a brazier. The ashes, they believed, scorched the evil right out of the world. Sumer, Akkad, Babylon, Assyria. Every city had archives of charms to unbind sorcery, legal texts punishing malevolent magicians, and rituals like the maklu, or burning. This wasn't superstition in isolation. It was part of law, medicine, and statecraft. The king himself might order a counterspell if omens looked bad.
Today's Mesopotamian segment is brought to you by Hexoff, trusted since 1800 BCE. Whether it's kishpu or just bad irrigation, Hexoff keeps your goats happy and your neighbors nervous.
Egypt, Heka, Isis, and the magic papyri, circa 1800 to 300 BCE.
Down the Nile, magic wasn't just tolerated, it was sacred. The Egyptians called it Heka, a cosmic force as essential as bread or sunlight. Priests used it to maintain harmony between the gods and mortals, carving protective spells into tomb walls or hiding amulets in linen wrappings. Ordinary people joined in. A mother might whisper charms over a newborn. A fisherman might scratch prayers on a potsherd before casting his net. The famous magical papyri, spanning the late Pharaonic to Greco-Roman periods, read like a grab bag of life hacks, protection from crocodiles, formulas for seduction, recipes to compel spirits to fetch information. Isis, queen of sorcery, set the bar high by resurrecting Osiris with her words, proof that language itself could restitch the world. But Egyptians also told cautionary tales about necromancers overstepping, like Setnekamwas, a prince who stole forbidden spells and almost doomed himself.
This portion of our cruise up the Nile is brought to you by Papyrus Plus, the only scroll tough enough for resurrection spells and grocery lists alike.
Greece, wise women, moon drawers, and tragic potions, 800 to 100 BCE.
Cross the Mediterranean and you find witches with theatrical flair. Circe, in Homer's Odyssey, lives on an island surrounded by bewitched lions and wolves, previous guests who didn't mind their manners. She lures Odysseus's crew with wine and turns them into pigs, but later, over a polite dinner, gives him directions to the underworld. Hospitality counts, even in sorcery. Medea, granddaughter of Helios, mixes her potions with a side of tragedy. She rescues Jason with enchanted salves, then, betrayed, unleashes vengeance that makes every later breakup look mild. Philosophers argued about whether charms were real or clever psychology, while poets wrote of Thessalian witches who could draw down the moon, either a metaphor for astronomy or a wild herbal harvest under moonlight.
This moonlit tale is sponsored by Luna Hook for safe, effective lunar extraction. Always follow ethical moon harvesting guidelines.
Rome, law, satire, and lead curse tablets, 1st BCE to 4th CE.
When Rome inherited Greek culture, it imported the witch along with olives and drama. Romans loved a good law, and as early as the 12 Tables, they banned anyone from enchanting another's crops. That didn't stop people from sneaking curse tablets, defictions, into wells, calling on underworld gods to blight competitors or make lovers more attentive. Poets gave witches a bad PR team. Horace's Canidia stalked graveyards, brewing poisons with wolf liver and screech owl feathers. Ovid turned spells into punchlines, describing love charms alongside beauty tips. But satire couldn't erase demand. Market stalls sold amulets, charms, and powders for everything from toothache to treason. Roman witchcraft sat at the crossroads of religion, gossip, and state anxiety. Emperors occasionally expelled astrologers and magicians when politics got tense, proving that even the Caesars worried about the power of a good hex.
This Roman interlude is brought to you by Curse Tab. Lead sheets for every occasion. Write it, fold it, toss it in a fountain. And remember, the gods aren't liable for side effects.
And there you have it. Our broomstick has flown from river valleys and royal tombs to moonlit Aegean cliffs and Roman back alleys. In every corner, magic lived alongside daily life, shaping laws, stories, and dinner party gossip. Next up, we head north, where Vikings, Celts, and Slavs carved their own witchy legends into ice, stone, and spinning huts on chicken legs.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, and tell all your spooky friends.